Hello, and we are back for episode 9 of Aliit by Beskar, which is Mandoa for
Thank
Clan of
you!
Steel. Thanks so much for that Prime sub. Appreciate that. And Nikki, if you would like to do 2d6s, or you can give advantage to a player, either one, whichever one you want to do. And then also, our cast is starting out with an asset. Thanks to Michael Wayne for that $25 donation last night, going towards the game. So I think we're still talking about specifics, but it looks like that's going to be a bounty hunter contact for the party that they've already built up a reputation with, so they get much better jobs from that. So very cool stuff. Before we jump into all the action and roleplay and everything, though, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves and their characters, and talk a little bit there, and then we'll hop in. So starting at the top left, Vanessa, tell us a little bit about Anaka and yourself.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I am the token Canadian of this group. I'm also an artist. I work primarily in watercolor and pencil sketch, as well as a little bit of digital art. And if you'd like to take a look at my stuff, you can certainly do so on my art Twitter, which is at Pepero Draws. That's Pepero like the candy. I've recently posted a whole bunch of My Hero Academia art. If you like anime or My Hero, I do have a Jujutsu Kaisen piece in the works, and I'm also all done with the OC art exchange that we did. So I have 4 pieces for that will be going up on my page very shortly. Just finished those the other day. Super happy with them, so those will be posted soon. But as for Anaka, I play Anaka Ta. She is a Togruta. She's a Dark Force user as well. As for her past, she doesn't really share much, and whether that is by design of everybody just assuming that she is the broody, teenager of the crew, or by specific design of her own, nobody knows. But for now, it benefits her, and that's the way she's going to approach things. But yeah, she's got that space magic and the glowy sword that everybody likes, and that's Anaka.
Fabulous. Next, we've got Nikki. Tell us a little bit about Ilsa and yourself, and also I will add those d6s in for you.
I'm Nikki. I just do a lot of different stuff. Ilsa, I really think about Ilsa. Ilsa is a very reserved super school dropout who really embraces the cottage core aesthetic and is just learning that she's force sensitive.
Awesome. Ilsa's pretty great, and definitely saved everybody's butts last session. Next, we've got, let's hop up to Matt. Tell us a little bit about Jai and yourself.
Ooh, hello, I'm Matt. I'm a content creator of various stuff. I try to make a lot of things. Jai is a sweet summer child. He, I think, is the village idiot of this crew. I love him to death, but boy, he's a handful. And unfortunately, he's starting to know that. And that's only going to just do bad things to him, I feel like. He also has to now completely almost rebuild the TIE Defender. So that's going to be fun.
Yep.
He made choices.
They ultimately ended up being perfectly fine choices, just barely. Next, we've got Hope. Tell us a little bit about Muxo and yourself.
Hi, I'm Hope Tracy. You can find me on Twitter at HopeTracy71 and on Monday nights on Milady Saito's channel for Tales of Drahi, which we're definitely playing. Definitely. Muxo is if Leslie Hall and Ace Rimmer from Red Dwarf had 7 children, she would be the middle child and a farmer at that. She a bit of a daredevil, pretty much fearless. I'm not. She is. Any hesitation you see on my face is mine alone. She she's the opposite of Ilsa in terms of being reserved. She wears, like Leslie Hall, a bright gold jumpsuit underneath her hot pink armor, and she thinks she looks great because she does. Like, right now she's working on being a little more ambitious. So maybe captain, but we haven't decided yet.
I think Muxo's definitely closest to captain right now, for sure. just by merit of making decisions.
We just have to, we all have to decide we need a captain.
Yeah. Awesome. And then next we've got Mr. Parr. Tell us a little bit about Zadu and yourself.
I didn't change my name on Zoom. That's nice. Hi, I am Mr. Parr. I am on the internet. I'm an aspiring writer. I'm an aspiring voice actor. I'm aspiring many things. Today, I'm playing Zadu Baga, a Twi'lek that was raised on Kashyyyk, one found family, and then joined up with Mandalorians, another found family, and then got a murder son, another found family. So I guess you could call him the master of found families.
That's great. Yeah, that's totally fair. All right, and then that just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which includes a whole ton of different things, mostly tabletop related. You can find all my links there in chat on my link tree. And then before we get started, I want to mention a couple other things. One, there's a brand new emote. Feel free, if you are subscribed at tier 1 or higher, to throw that one out there as much as you like to. It's a laughing raccoon that Yasmin made. I'm really, really happy with it. I love it. You can also throw the little word emotes in front of it, and it looks like the raccoon saying it. It's really cute. So that's a new thing. And then sponsors, real quick mention on that, which are Fundamental RPG and Intrepid. Fundamental RPG is a tabletop system, very easy to pick up D20 system. Just dropped a week or two ago, and the physical copies are now available. I need to get a link into my bot there, but if you go to Amazon and just look up Fundamental RPG or Raven Evermore, you'll find it there. So the physical copies are available for purchase, and then you can get the digital version at coffee.com/raven/shop, which incidentally is also where you can find Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life. So if you like outdoor, athletic, or casual wear and accessories with a tabletop theme, you can find all that stuff there. It's very, very cool stuff. All that out of the way, yeah, we left off last session. There was explosions. Jai got stabbed a little bit. There was some force connections, and all in all, you got out okay, with all the ships at least flying, and you got a lot of really good intel on sort of the tier 1 level of operations for this facility, and you know that there's a couple more tiers that you weren't able to access information on yet, but it was a really good start, and pretty valuable intel. Plus, Jai managed to do some fancy computer hacking and make this whole thing look like it came from Admiral Dala, which is a competing admiral in the Imperial Remnant, from the place that they were in, which saved so many butts, so much more than you know. So that was really good. But now our crew here needs to do some repairs on some things, and to do that they need credits, and right now I think y'all are pretty low on those. So since we have the asset, who wants to be the person that has that Bounty Hunters Guild contact? Don't all speak up at once.
Jai's gonna pass on this one.
I'm gonna
Okay.
vote for Zadu to have it.
Okay. Par, how do you feel about that?
Why?
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. If Muxo has it, you all won't know, but she will definitely tell you that we were paid a different number.
That's true.
And Ilsa hasn't really worked with a lot of people.
Yeah. And Zadu has this mysterious past, and he doesn't talk a lot. So I think it would be interesting to be all like RPG-y. It would be interesting for Zadu to just kind of be like, hey, I know somebody.
I can totally see that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be, I think, either Zadu or Anaka, because everybody else, I think, all
Either
valid
passed or
points
had a
are-
turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
I think it's a miracle that Anaka has a contact in Bevan, so I don't think she'd have another one.
It's also very fair.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
All right. Then, knowing that you all need credits, and that you need to go find work, Zadu, I'm gonna say that probably this contact comes to mind. What name should this Bounty Hunters Guild contact have? I'm gonna let you all name this NPC since it's your asset.
Candorous.
Candorous? Okay. Is that a first and last name or just one name altogether?
Candorous for first name. I don't know
Okay.
about the last name. Any ideas?
My character doesn't even have a last name. Well, it's not going to be Saxon, that's for sure.
Yeah. Candorous Las Name, I think is what we could do.
Fit right in on the Imperial Mode.
Right.
I am not gonna remember that. I'll tell you
We'll just
something.
call them. We'll just call them Candors. They'll just have the one name. That's fine. All right, then they come to mind. You remember you have this contact with the Bounty Hunters Guild that usually sends you some high-paying jobs that you could potentially contact if you would like.
Yes. Huh. I did know someone, didn't I? Yes, worth reaching out.
We'll have this conversation around the dinner table because we're all back and we're kind of cooling off after what we just did. We'll be having like a really spicy stew over with just like bread, like flatbread, and Muxa will be looking through her data pad at the list that Jai has given her to mollify her, while Zadu is offering this up.
Okay.
Can you get hold of them?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if they'll respond right now, but give it a few days.
It's not like super urgent, but it is our next step.
I'll see what I can do.
Awesome.
All right. Well, if you send the message off to Candorous, then yeah, probably within a few hours you'll get a message back that just says that there are some jobs available. There's actually a decent variety of jobs available at the moment. Candorous sort of says, "Yeah, you contacted me at a really good time. Your timing was really good there." And let's see. Trying to think of what options would be fun. There's one where you could hunt down a smuggler. There's a bounty for them to be captured alive. There's one for a former what were they called? The Imperial spies. It was it Imperial Spy Bureau or something like that? Was it ISB agent? Is that what they were called?
Security Bureau.
Security Bureau.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one for a former one of those who they were known to do assassination jobs and things like that. That's marked very dangerous. So you've got a live smuggler, dead or alive, a former Imperial assassin, and let's do one that's just like a retrieval. You've got to rescue someone essentially, and find and rescue them and bring them back alive.
It's wholesome.
What kind of someone?
There's not a lot of information on the someone. I can tell you it's not Baby Yoda, but it's a similar setup to the first episode of The Mandalorian.
Intriguing.
I think we know what we're doing.
All right.
Not much information, huh?
This seems perfect for us.
But let's
Yeah.
put a little finger down on the hunting down the assassin too. But let's do the rescue. Let's do the rescue for sure.
Could we get like a? Would your contact provide like a difficulty rating on these, like so that we could figure out if maybe we have two teams?
Yeah, they probably
Twice
would.
the bounty, twice the pay.
So the smuggler is basically reverse order. So the unknown rescue is the hardest, the assassin is the middle hardest, and the smuggler is quote unquote easy.
I think we rescue the someone or other.
I dig it.
I will put quotes around the easy in my notes.
It intrigues me. It intrigues me very much.
I like the idea of the rescue.
Such little information to work off of.
It kind of just makes it better, right?
Yeah,
Challenge.
we are nosy.
I think the message will also say something like, nobody wants to touch these, so take your time deciding which one you want, or if you want all of them.
Oh,
Nobody wants
wait,
to
hold on.
touch
Are there
them.
time limits?
Well, I mean, there's other bounty hunters that could potentially get the job done before you.
Let's do the hard one first, and then the other ones will be easy. Feel like a vacation.
We've gone hard mode. Yeah, I'm into it. Hardest first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go find us a not Baby Yoda.
I'm sure it'll be fine, guys.
Yeah, you're actually going after a toddler Loda. Is the name? No, I'm kidding.
I thought you were going to say Yaddle.
Yeah. Did I write down something? No, I did not write down the thing that I'm thinking. I think I wrote it down in a different notebook. All right. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to figure out my notes. Yeah. Okay. If you're taking the hard one, you'll get sort of a data packet sent back, and it gives you, let's say, 4 possible locations. The information is that you're looking for a particular adult female who has been captured. Very little information is available on who captured them. Just that the ship that they're on is rather large and has been spotted in these 4 locations.
I'm sorry, did someone say ship?
Large
They
ship.
did-
So that just means bigger payday.
Yeah, potentially. So there's 4
Also, we can
locations
fly
that you
something
could
new.
that you could potentially find them at, and the intel does say that they do return to those locations.
Like we keep
Um,
showing up on Narshada and making
yeah.
trouble.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
Oops, I keep smacking my microphone. And let's see how much more intel's on this thing. It pays a lot. I'll come up with a number later, but it's more than you've made thus far.
Enough to fix at least one defender?
You could fix all of your ships and have some left over.
Excellent.
Perfect.
And be doing something good. Probably this. I'm sure this person we're rescuing definitely isn't someone bad who might have just been being taken to prison. That's fine.
Yeah. It
Not
does
our
list,
problem.
It does list a client name. I just need to confirm something. Trying to remember a last name that I had associated with it. One second. But yeah, there's a name that I will give you in a second. Sorry, I'm still looking up, trying to remember what I had in mind for this. And it does say that strange things have been reported happening in the areas, like supernatural type stuff.
Anaka, you want to get on this planning? We got space magic.
Is this another Mars is haunted kind of deal?
Yes.
No.
Always was.
The female, the adult female that we're rescuing is probably actually a ghost,
Gotcha.
which is great. You'll get along with her great. Because you're like a ghost whisperer, right?
Is that better or worse than Force user?
I think it's like advanced. It's just like the Force outside. Like I've been reading some like sci-fi lately. I know, surprise. And I've gotten into this genre where like there's like ascendants, where like whole races just kind of turn into like Force ghosts.
Anaka, are you gonna turn into a Force ghost?
Bold of you to assume that Anaka is putting up with your foolishness long enough to stay in the room.
Oh, he still asks the question whether you're there or not. The question is out there now.
We're in the middle of the ship. You can hear us.
You know Jai's not quiet.
So yeah, it's the drop-off point is the Yavin system, and the client is O.Lars.
Well, payday? Payday? Payday?
I see wheels turning over there, Matt.
I'm not saying a dang thing, Raven. I'm not saying a dang thing.
All
Go
right.
ahead, keep your secrets.
All in good time.
What was the name?
O.Lars.
Okay. Great. So, what's the nearest location to us?
Let's see. You're currently over there. There's too many planets to look up.
Do we need fuel to get there?
I think you've got enough fuel to get to the first one.
Okay.
What's that planet in Shadow of the Empires where you fight IG-88? I'm drawing a blank on the name. It's like the big industrial planet with lots of junkyards and stuff.
Is that Mechus? Is that Mechus 4? Mechus Prime?
Might be. I'm drawing a blank on my Star Wars
Mechus 3.
trivia. Okay. That's the closest one.
Okay, great. Ooh, what's Mechas? Ooh. Interesting. I'm interested in this place.
All right.
Cool.
So
yeah,
did we accept the job? Do you want to send back a message, Sadu?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, if we decided on a job.
Yeah, we're on our way to Mechas 3.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Sounds intriguing.
Okay. And then I'm looking up a couple more little things. But yeah, you're able
I'm
to
wrong.
get some.
Do we care
what
if
is it?
I'm wrong? It's Ord Mantell.
Thank you. Yes, that's the planet I was thinking of. I could not for the life of me think of that name. But that's exactly where I was thinking of. Yeah. Ord Mantell. Yeah, and I'm going to say yep, you're closest to that one. So yeah, you're on your way to that planet. Which I can give you a little bit of information about it. It is in the mid-rim. The standard day is 26 hours, 334 days in the year. Primary terrain is plains, jungles, seas, mesas, volcanic islands, and a whole bunch of urban areas. It does have saltwater lakes. And the Scraplands is probably what most people know this particular planet for. Which is just giant, massive junkyards, essentially. And the intel for this planet is that they think that whoever this is could be either in orbit or in a hideout in the Scraplands. So while you're on your way to get there, is there anything that you want to do on the ship while you're in transit to prep? Any planning that you want to do or anything like that?
Okay. So we should do some planning. How are we going to find an indeterminate person? I think orbit's easy. In the Scraplands, not so much. How are we gonna go about this? Just like go down, gossip a bit, and then move on from there?
I mean, that sounds good.
Okay, because we don't have a lot of information, but I'm sure we could find some more. You know, couple drinkies. It's always a good way to.
Zadu, you have thoughts?
Hmm?
Did you have thoughts?
Yeah, this nondescript person number 45. Yeah. Can. We'll wing it.
Does anyone else want to come in and insert sanity into this planning session?
I just okay. So as the we have a resident Canadian or a token Canadian. We also have a token. I don't watch that much Star Wars. So
Both
Scraplands.
good.
Do people actually live in them? Are there like habitations, or is it like people hiding in pits underneath piles of scrap?
Yeah, it's not really a place where most people live. It's more like where used materials from like ships and wreckage and things like that get converted into usable materials, and people dig through for spare parts for things. So anybody living there is basically doing so without any sort of authorization to do so.
Or access to resources. I want to
yeah.
say like we should just like tour a certain person through there looking for like feelings of distress, but I feel like there's a whole lot of that going on, and we're gonna bust up a whole lot of abduction rings if we do that. We just need to find the one person. It just sounds shady. How many like how is it a busy orbital traffic scene?
What I remember, yeah, it's somewhat busy. Not like Nar Shaddaa or Coruscant or something like that, but there should be a decent amount of traffic coming and going.
Okay.
If
And
nothing
all
else,
we
a
know
lot
about
of
is
like,
big ship.
yeah, a decent sized ship, bigger than like a shuttle or a small freighter.
Okay. Okay. Huh. Okay. So Ilsa, how would you go about this? You have this like whole official thing that snuck out the other day, so it seems like protocols and checklists and that sort of thing are on your skill list. How would you go about how would you officially go about a search and rescue?
We need more information.
Okay. So that's first thing on the list.
Did anyone search for more?
No, we could do that en route. We could reach out to some other connections.
Potentially, yeah.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to gather information. I would like to specifically gather information from my family group chat.
Okay. Sorry, gather information on what specifically again?
Has anybody else like heard about this job? Do they know anything more about it?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, let's do gather information with advantage since you're using your personal contacts.
Okay. And this will be like my off-world cousins, not people who are like home because they're busy.
Gotcha.
Busy with the flax.
And Elsa's like pruning her plants and like uninvolved.
I'd like to. I'm gonna add a force point to that.
Okay. You do get to roll with advantage, so you can.
Oh, advantage! Thank you.
You can roll a second time. Hopefully, it'll be.
Okay.
Higher.
Okay, that's higher.
25. All right. Yeah. Your like cousins and whatnot have been able to share some rumors with you that a lot of bounty hunters, especially the more superstitious ones, haven't touched it because of where the locations are and the fact that there's not a whole lot of information. So while we've been talking, I've been frantically looking up locations for this. So the other planets, aside from Ord Mantell, are Droman Kost, Zeost, and Korriban.
Fine, keep your secrets, Raven.
So we do have the supernatural bit to go on if we want to when we get to the planet. Ask people about that. Like we don't just have, hey, have you heard somebody got abducted? Some femme person. We could say so with spooky goings on around. Like,
Would a search for just that help us find anything or no?
Search for what was that last part?
Of just spooky, supernatural in that part.
Yeah. If anybody would like to do a galactic lore roll,
I don't think my score is very good in that.
never know. Might roll a 20. Anaka
Not
could
my
do this
luck.
with advantage, by the way, if you would like.
Galactic lore, you said?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what we
So
got.
19 for Muxo. 25 for Jai. Nice.
I don't know why I know any of this, but
12 for Ilsa. Okay.
Oh, hold on. I think I did that wrong. Yeah, in the breakdown. No, there's 5. Okay, you said do with advantage?
Yeah, because Anaka would have more of a chance of knowing this information than anybody else, I think.
oh, good. That's what I was about to ask. Was if Anaka was in the room and had heard all of
Nope.
those locations?
Oh,
Because
I actually missed them. Could you put them in Discord
Yeah.
later? Great.
Yeah.
I also misspelled
And-
everything that you've said since we began the session. So
No worries. So again, for everyone's benefit, the first planet is Ord Mantell. I'm gonna throw these the wiki links into Discord. Droman Kos, Zeost, or Zeost, depending on how you pronounce it, and Korriban. So reason this job pays so much.
kind of a meta question. Would Anaka just innately know anything about any of these? Just based on the origin?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I will say that I'm going to give Anaka the same information that Muxo knows.
Okay. That was a very meta question, and I'm trying not to say a whole lot because Matt knows a lot more about these worlds than Jai ever hopes to.
Yeah.
So Matt's trying to be very quiet over here.
So Muxo and I think Anaka, just by virtue of previous training, the planets Korriban and Zeost or Zeost stick out, and you're pretty sure that had something to do with like the old Sith. Not real sure like what exactly, but you remember those planets and Sith being associated somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jai.
Oh, okay.
And then Jai, you know that for some reason,
Somehow I know stuff. Don't ask me how.
you picked up a book somewhere and it just really stuck with you. You know that Droman Kos used to be like, I think one of the seats of power for the old Sith Empire.
Yeah.
Zeos or Korriban was like the home planet for the Sith race, and that they eventually moved to Zeost, leaving Korriban as sort of a Sith graveyard.
So we're looking for a Force user, Anaka. I think that shouldn't be that difficult to find. Like you could just like do your antenna thing, right?
Jai didn't say it this time.
Ilsa's still
that
got the
sounds- yeah.
inventory of repairs open. It's the hologram of it. Just taking she's gesturing and it's just moving around with her hand.
Um,
So
Out of
that
character.
seems like a good idea. Like we could fly around in orbit for like a day or so and just sort of like, try to figure out if anything weird is going on. And if not, then maybe we could just go down to the planet and talk to some people. We could have some guests on the ship. We haven't had guests yet.
We're not
So-
prepared for guests.
And we have the room. I had that room built.
Brig.
I know,
Yeah.
but I have to cook and
Oh,
rearrange things. And
that's
there's
fair.
and out of character, there's nothing that needs to be done. It's
They get the plastic on the couch.
Oh god.
Ilsa keeps everything looking great, so I don't know why
Yeah.
she's.
I know the feeling. It's fine.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
I feel like this is what we have a thing to look for, given given the like provenance of these planets. So that's a good place to start. It's going to depend heavily on you, though, Anaka, initially. But you've been really valuable to us, and we appreciate you.
She doesn't respond to any sort of praise like that.
You don't have to. It just happens. So I think that's it. Like, this is gonna be our plan, and we're just gonna sit there twiddling our thumbs until she finds something.
Okay.
And not, until we get bored, which will be a couple hours in, and then we're gonna go find some place to talk to people. Because being in orbit's boring.
Ilsa's like cleaning now because you said there will be guests.
I don't think there's
Oh,
going to
that's
be any
great.
guests on our who want to come on our ship that we won't have to kill.
You never know.
It's too small. Yeah, okay. So you're able to get to Ord Mantell, no real problems. And yeah, there's a bunch of like giant freighters hauling presumably what is scrap to the planet.
Mhm.
And more freighters coming out of the planet with presumably recycled metals and materials and things. There's probably a dozen or two smaller freighters and similar sized vessels to yours, just in orbit, but nothing nothing out of the ordinary. You can go down to the planet if you'd like, or you can hang around in orbit and inspect these ships further, or if there's something else that you want to do, more than welcome to. Just some options there.
Let's do one orbit, which is probably like an hour or two, and then head down. Sort of check the scene out. Which we did. Obviously, you just described the ships. Nothing suspicious then.
Yeah.
No like Sith flag painted on like a Confederate flag on a Trans Am. It's just
Nope, nothing like that at all.
So do the sensors, do we have anything that kind of like any ships that kind of match the general profile that we were given for the large ship? Like, I know it was just a
No.
large ship, but we didn't
yeah,
get a name or anything, right?
Yeah, there was no name for the ship that you could find. It just said that the ship was large and didn't match any like widely known configurations.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's go to a city that's pretty close to one of those scrap terrain locations,
Okay.
scraplands, and yeah, like catch some scene.
Mm.
Okay.
Gussy up a bit, you know. Get the blaster marks out of the armor.
All right. You have no problem getting down to one of the settlements that's on the outskirts of the scraplands, and there's plenty of areas that you can land. Whenever you step off the ship, the air quality is very poor. A lot of pollutants in the a lot of pollutants in the air, and everything is kind of hazy, that sort of smog haze kind of thing in the atmosphere. The town looks relatively clean. Like, it doesn't look dirty and dingy, but because of the way the atmosphere is, everything just looks sort of like sepia tone. And there's not a lot of sunlight getting in through the smog and haze overhead as well.
Yeah,
So it's a
our
little
helmets
dreary
protect
looking.
us pretty well, but we need to get something for Anaka.
And I mean, anybody that's out here isn't gonna like get sick or die or anything like that just from walking around. There's plenty of people that are here. If you spent a year or two here, you might have some health concerns, but
We're gonna have a
couple of
line
days
for the
you're gonna be
shower when we
fine.
get back to the ship, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's find a watering hole.
There is a cantina.
Mhm.
That
Who's going-
is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do we have a marching order for entering the cantina? Does anybody want to make a dramatic entrance?
Honestly, I think Jai is probably still back at the ship.
Okay.
Like, just kind of holding down the base there, maybe working on the ties a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, don't let those get junked.
Oh, nice. So Locke's hanging back with you.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Nice.
Murder sibling.
Oh,
That's
I am 100% regaling him with stories of how I almost blew up the silver jerk, like detonated a proton torpedo in a hangar bay full of people. Locke, so many stormtroopers died.
Locke is just overjoyed and is very sad that they were not there.
I think because of what we learned about these planets, Muxo will have kept on the blaster that she got in the place we just visited. The word is escaping me. And
Okay.
and some of the grenades, rather than having on her sort of like generic ones that she had on before, she'll wear those instead. Just for little details. So, is anybody else staying back with Jai, or is it all the rest of us going?
I'll come along.
Okay, great. Did you want to? I interrupted you, Raven. Were you going to describe the cantina?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it is not nearly as busy as like the one in Tatooine.
Mhm.
There's just a handful of people sort of milling about. Everybody seems kind of depressed. Not like overly so to where you'd be like, oh wow, they seems like they're having a really rough time. Just nobody seems particularly happy. And there is a droid behind the bar with like 8 arms. And it looks like it is the bartender.
Muxo will go in first then, and she will make it a very dramatic entrance. Like, yeah, I know I look good, and just cheer everyone up with what this is
Oh, with the Mandalorian. I see.
in gold and bright pink.
Yeah.
Band of Mandalorians walk into a bar.
Yeah, they do.
I forget the details, but the punchline is everybody dies.
They shouldn't have said that.
Oh no. You do get some funny looks as you walk in, but that's about it.
Okay. So are there is there a large group anywhere, or is it just like onesies, twosies scattered around?
Yeah, just a couple here and there. Most of the people there look like they're there by themselves.
Okay. Any stranger hiding in his cloak in the corner going on?
Not really.
Okay.
Everybody here looks like they probably work in the junkyard or something like that.
Okay.
Um,
Moose is going to act like all the tables are taken and plop herself down with a drink. With another drink. Well, like 2 drinks. at a table. It doesn't matter. At a table that has another person at it. And just sort of very comfortable with herself, so she's gonna plop down with sneeze out, push the drink toward him. Them. I'm making assumptions here.
Pretty good.
Be like, new in town. How about you?
And sorry, you're looking at who in particular?
A person. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
A person who is sitting alone at a table and is now no longer sitting alone at a table.
Yeah, they just sort of give you a funny look, and they're like, "Yeah, I kind of noticed. I live here." Kind of looks behind them. It's like, "Is there a reason you're talking to me?"
Oh, there was a seat open at your table. I assumed you wanted some company.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but that's fine.
Well,
What are Mandos doing here?
we're adventure seekers, and we heard some rumors and some funny goings on here, and we just want to know more about it.
Oh, well, if you're looking for adventure, this seems like a terrible place for adventure. This place is really boring.
We know a little bit, but we'd like to know more.
Try persuasion with this person.
Okay.
See if you can get some information out of them.
This person speaks like they want to be adopted. If this was the Animus crew, they'd already have a new person on their crew.
Oh my god. No. Don't adopt every NPC. That's more for me to keep track of.
Am I wrong though?
You're not wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna roll this, and I already know that I'm gonna want to add a d6.
Okay.
I only add 3 to persuasion. My charisma is bad.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and throw that d6 on there.
Okay. Mostly because I know that Muxo is more charming than I am.
I gotcha.
Is 21 gonna do it?
Yeah. You're able to get them to relax a little bit. They seem very on edge, given a group of Mandos walk into this middle of nowhere bar, and Mandos have a reputation. So this person's waiting for a gunfight to break out. But they calm down, and they're that causes them to remember something. And they say, I think there was. I did hear some weird stories about ghosts or something like that out in the junkyard.
Oh yeah.
And a black cloaked figure that would just wander around on occasion.
This one out here or a different one?
Yeah, it wasn't too far from here where those reports were coming from. There's all sorts of ghost stories that happen in the junkyard and everything, but this one was a little different. People swore they saw shadowy figures moving around, and they looked like they were carrying a body or something like that, and the whole place just felt really cold and scary.
We don't get a lot of ghosts back where I come from. That's really Oh. How recently?
This was about a week ago.
And nothing since?
Well, I haven't heard any more stories like that since then, really.
Hmm. Well, you've been really helpful. I think I'm gonna go check that out. Muxo will finish her drink, stand up, and leave like some token amount of credits on the table and walk out.
Okay. They seem appreciative. And they even kind of like pull up a map and show you where, and it's about a mile away from where you are, and a mile to the north of where you are.
Oh, great. Okay. So we have information now and spooky goings on. And a week ago, which I don't know what that means in terms of residues, but I'm sure Anaka does. And was Anaka with us when the guy was talking about a black cloaked figure?
Hanaka did go to the cantina, yes.
Okay.
How did
Then they might say a bit like your friend here, actually, and laugh kind of nervously.
Oh yeah.
This
She's
person's just like,
she's sweet when you get to know her. You know, you give her some cake, you get a little bit of a smile. I'm gonna die for that one.
Yeah, they just sort of smile and nod and seem increasingly uncomfortable.
From behind Muxo, so Anaka initially would have like wrapped her face with some I don't know if it was like maybe a scarf or some sort of black fabric just to walk through the not so nice air. When Muxo is speaking and Anaka is standing behind her, as Muxo makes that comment, and this person responds, Anaka uses one finger and uses like the nail on her finger to pull down the fabric of her mouth very slightly and gives just like this very not amused smile in response directly at this person sitting down, just like a smile devoid of joy, and then just pops the fabric back into place.
That's great.
I don't think we're adopting this one.
Yeah, no, they don't really seem particularly thrilled to continue the conversation, but they give you the information you want, and then, you know.
I pay them and leave.
Yeah, that's all there is.
Yep.
So yeah, it's about a mile away. You could potentially jetpack there, you could walk there, you could take one of the ties over there.
Take a stroll.
It's not there's not really a good spot to land the whole freighter.
I think we're gonna walk because we want to kind of get a sense of what sounds are supposed to be there.
Okay.
Sort of environmental immersion.
Okay.
And if you need a quick extraction, Jai can manage to pilot that well.
Yeah. I mean, if Anaka could fly my TIE fighter into an open landing bay, he could fly that ship.
Oh goodness.
She did a great job.
Who all is going? And what order are you going in?
Why does our order matter, Raven?
Just curious.
Just curious. Yeah, I bet you are.
Okay, fine. Muxa will stride boldly to the fore.
All right.
Anaka will go second, just not first.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go third.
All right. So we've got Muxo, Anaka, Zadu, and then is Ilsa going?
Yeah. I guess she goes behind Zadu. Sorry. My brain stopped working.
No, you're totally fine. Okay, and then Zadu, did you want Locke to come with you as well?
No.
We're leaving Jai alone.
Jai and Locke need their bonding time. I told you they'd be
Alright.
best friends.
Awesome.
I'm not saying I told you so, but
All right.
When you get back, I'm either going to be dead or Locke is going to know how to high five properly.
I kind of imagine Jai working on a repair or something like that, and Locke's just sitting there with the, offset blinking eyes, just staring quietly until you say something.
Thank you, Locke. Can you go get me a hydro spanner?
they're probably like, certainly, and they come back with like the wrong tool. It's like, is this a hydro spanner?
No, but close enough.
Just set some boundaries, that's all, yeah. So while Jai and Locke are bonding, the rest of you are heading out into this junkyard, and it's very uneven terrain. It's like walking through a junkyard that's not particularly well organized. So there's big pieces of wreckage and little pieces of wreckage just sort of scattered everywhere.
There are absolutely selfies taken. I mean, come on.
Perfect. So it's a mile, but it's enough of a trek and enough of difficult terrain that it feels like 2 or 3 miles. If anyone would like to roll perception, or those that can roll use the force, you are welcome to take in your surroundings. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. So... Ilsa, looking around, you don't see anything that looks particularly ominous or weird or out of place for most of the walk. But you do eventually spot what almost looks like a cave in a giant mountain of junk. There seems to be like a little opening off in the distance. And that's what you notice. And then for Anaka, with a 30, I presume that's use the force, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so with a 30, you don't sense any life here. But there is a faint sense of something dark and cold. It's not very strong, but you feel like there's definitely been a dark presence here in the not-so-distant past. And that's everything that everybody notices collectively.
Naka lets everybody else know that there is nothing living currently in there.
Okay. So, not the person we're looking for then. Was there something? Why are you phrasing it that way?
Are you asking Anaka?
Yes.
She says it's possible to sense that there was something, but there's not now.
About a week ago?
It's entirely possible, yes, but there's nothing there now.
Okay. You want to check it out? I mean, us. It's a plural you. Do you think it's worthwhile?
I mean, we have nothing else to go on.
Yeah. All right.
Why not?
Pulls her blaster pistol. Stalks in.
Okay.
All right.
Are you all trying to sneak in, or are you sort of just walking right in?
Oh, Raven, I'm so sick of the way you phrase things. Is there a need for us to stealth in?
I'm just asking.
The rest of you can stealth, but Muso already committed to marching in.
What reason would there be
That's
to?
totally fine.
Stealth into
Stealth
an
in.
empty game. Fuck's sakes.
Just gonna walk right in? I mean,
I'm just asking if you make a lot of racket going up there, or if you tiptoeing in. You know, how cautious are you being? Is my question really?
Muso's doing the dramatic jumping from rock to rock. you
I see
know,
no reason.
dramatically holding her gun.
Nothing's alive in there, so I see no reason to stealth.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I mean,
you're-
Anaka isn't stealthing, but she's being a lot more cautious than the rest of them.
I
Okay.
never promised you my characters would make optimal decisions.
No, I'm all here for it. I'm just trying to get a
Elsa's
better
just
picture of
going.
like.
Normally, she doesn't stomp around, but she's not. She's just walking.
Okay. So the reason I asked about stealth is because in my head I'm picturing like a couple of different stereos. Everybody's like marching in there, or is like tactically moving really quietly, even though there's nobody alive in there. Still just being cautious. Or are you like pulling a Kronk and doing all spy mission, but not doing so great?
We're gonna just throw all of our grenades in there and then go in. We're not doing that. That's not actually happening.
Yeah, you're all able to go in there, and there are no people. There are no droids either. Nothing's waiting to ambush you or anything like that. But it does feel super creepy as soon as you walk into this little cave area. For Anaka and Ilsa in particular, it feels really cold. And it looks essentially like a small bunker. There wasn't really a door, but there is definitely a structure inside. There's a little bunker, and there's a weird looking cage, like with bars, big enough to hold a human, that's attached to some sort of machinery, and one of those ever so fun torture table things, like from The Empire Strikes Back, that Vader uses on Han. Thing like that's in there, as well as a really creepy, like almost stone-like, really dark throne-looking chair. And that's about it.
This looks like the place. Musa will poke around, see if she can find any like lost data.
Lost data.
Not really.
Yep. She doesn't
You
know
do
what to look for otherwise.
Let me get a perception check.
All of us are just.
Yeah, anybody that wants to look around.
Sure, I'll try again.
Okay. All right. Well, Muxa with a 25, you do spot one thing. There is a little strip of leather with some colorful beads tied to it. Looks like it might be like something that you would tie up like a ponytail with, or a braid or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like an accessory
Yes.
of some kind. But other than that, you don't really notice anything different or out of the ordinary, or like something that would be useful.
Okay.
Would I be able to use my force perception to see if I can tell exactly how long it would have been since that presence has left?
Absolutely, you can certainly try.
22.
Difficult to say. But you feel like it's probably been more than a week, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Sounds good.
Do you share that or to keep it to yourself?
She waits to see if anybody else finds things first. And then I probably say she would offer it. Yeah.
I'm going to use my skill where I can roll perception twice, and I have to take the whatever the second one is.
Okay.
Okay, not much better.
18. Yeah, the little leather thing was pretty much the only thing there was to notice in here. Unless you want to like really dig into what that machinery is, but just at first glance, it's obviously some sort of like way to electrify that cage or prevent somebody from getting out of it.
Yeah, can I do like mechanics to just confirm that suspicion? I mean, it seems obvious.
Yeah, you don't even have to roll.
Okay.
You go look around at it, and yeah, that's pretty much all it is. It's
Mm-hmm.
it sends power into the bars to make them, it's not something that you'd want to touch.
Sabotage it? Muxa doesn't like that sort of thing. Maybe if
Okay.
they come back here, it'll inconvenience them a little bit, and someone will be saved 10 minutes
Okay.
of being tortured.
Yeah, go ahead and do mechanics for that.
Okay.
They're away from like civilization, right?
Yeah, you're about a mile away from any kind of settlement.
So nobody's out here, most likely.
That's 29?
Yeah, you're able to break it pretty good without it being
Okay,
obvious that it's broken.
take something essential.
Yeah.
A cotter pin that's really important. Good. I don't like people who torture people.
Yeah.
It's
you
not that
definitely-
effective.
You definitely won't like this person.
Hmm.
What you thinking there, Zadu?
It's not likely anyone would be out here. Who'd have reason to even come out here? Besides someone holding someone.
Somebody looking for a particular part or surveying how much junk is out here. Things like that.
Won't there be scrappers, grifters?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mostly scrappers or folks that work for the refinery.
I'm not sure we could learn much else through that. Well,
Somebody got a message on their comm, I think.
yeah, that's my phone.
No worries.
We probably won't figure anything out through that. Just speaking to random scrappers.
Yeah, I will go ahead and tell you that like this is pretty much all the information you're gonna find here.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
So we can be
about
pretty
this
confident
specifically.
they're not up in orbit if it's been 2 or 3 weeks. But now we have some sort of appearance to go on if this is like a broken piece of an accessory. It looks pretty significant. So now we have some sort of descriptor for the person we're looking for.
Now we can start a timeline.
Just imagining all of you putting together a murder board in the dining room of the ship.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like all we're gonna find on this planet, right?
Right.
On to the next one. What's the next closest planet that's been marked as a possible location?
The next closest. The next closest is Zeost.
Yes.
Ziost. Ziost.
All right. Well, if we're in luck, perhaps they went there next and we can find out more information. I'd say we planet hop from planet to planet that's closest, as far as we know, that might be connected to this person who's missing. And hopefully we can establish a timeline if they've appeared on multiple of these planets and get a little closer. I am saying to the rest of the crew that's here.
Makes sense. and relatively speaking, the next 3 planets are quote unquote close together. They're all in the outer rim.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
Let's go to the closest one and see what we can find there. Yeah. I'm excited. This was fruitful. That our very first interaction in this mystery was.
We chose well. Who chose this planet?
It was closest. we chose a good town though. Good job on whoever landed us.
Sharp intuition.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We're
made for this.
Almost like the Force is guiding us.
I'm assuming you probably wanted to fuel up here as well.
Yes.
Because that is an option. Yeah, you're able to fuel up. Don't worry about credits for it. You just top off the freighter, and you can be on your way. And magic money stuff happens, so don't worry about it. And it's going to take you a bit to get out to Zeost because it is in the outer rim. And I imagine you want to look up some information. There's not a whole lot of intel about the planet, but you know that
It's
it
icy?
is very, very cold and icy, yes.
Okay, so Musa's gonna get her flannel lined bodysuit up under her armor, which I have mentioned that she purchased.
Yeah. Excuse me, I love that.
It's got a little fur around the collar, like faux fur, and the wrists. It doesn't actually do anything, but it's there for effect.
It looks cool.
That's
All
also
right.
in pink.
Love that. Anything that you would like to do on the trip there?
Are we building a murder board?
Maybe.
I hope not.
How much does Ilsa object to that idea? Is it
I'm sure she
tacky?
probably would do because I'm sure she has a board somewhere. She just starts.
We can
putting
tack up the hair tie and the part that Muso pulled out of the torture machine, and just the map for good measure that, is a recollection of what Muso was shown. It doesn't have any significance, but it needs to go up there because it's information that we had acquired.
She's gonna
And
write
then-
that it was like the cave from place felt cold.
Yeah, and then just lines connecting the planets.
Yeah, string.
Perfect.
Yes.
I love that. Uh,
A little plant
Okay.
like on the side just to make it look nice.
Excellent.
oh, that's amazing. Yeah, you're able to get all that put together, and there's plenty of space for you to fill out more information as you gather it.
Mhm.
And unless there's anything else specific that you want to do on the trip there, then you get to the planet without much incident. And there is no traffic around this planet.
Okay, so we're probably not going to find them here, but we might get some clues.
Well, we don't know that. Lack of traffic could mean there's something putting a stop to it.
Mm.
Yeah. Planet's pretty much abandoned. There's not even like any settlements or anything that you can detect from orbit.
Yeah.
If you could, though, you can do those that can do use the Force, or you can do perception, and everyone can do perception. See if you notice anything else here.
To be honest, it seems like the perfect planet for keeping someone on, barring any, hazards. Okay, I don't see anything.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's okay.
Excuse me. Oh, nice. And then was that 35 the use the Force there? B?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was from before or not. So with the 35 use the Force, you feel like ridiculously strong dark side influence here, like almost overwhelmingly so. And it's just coming off the entire planet. There's like little pockets here and there that it's stronger, but really the whole planet just feels very, very dark side. And you might even hear whispers of something in a strange language that you don't understand. It's not like constant, but basically anytime you start meditating or start reaching out to the Force, you hear those whispers. It's super creepy.
Spoopy.
And then with a 31 on perception, Ilsa, you notice that there is one very faint energy reading coming off of one of the islands in this like frozen ocean on the planet.
She will point that out.
It's barely registering on your sensors, but there is a slight energy signature.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's fly down.
Okay.
Shields up, obviously.
Yeah, you're able to take the ship down, and the island's big enough you can land the whole ship. And there is this sort of island. It's not much bigger than like 2 or 3 times the size of your ship. And the ocean around it is frozen, but it's not like a frozen lake. There's actual waves that are just frozen mid, wave, however you would describe that. It's really jagged pieces of ice and things out there. It looks really quite pretty, but also very, very dangerous and inhospitable. And on the island, there is also kind of a similar thing. There's a cave, this little hill that's on the island. There's a little cave sort of carved into it. And there's no door, but inside there is a very similar setup to what you found on Ord Mantell, with a small heating unit that's still on, that is warming up the room to a tolerable temperature. It's not hot at all, but it's keeping things from in here from freezing over.
So they intend to return, is what we might assume.
It would seem so.
Okay.
Very similar kind of throne-like chair. There's a cage. There's the torture table, and there's also some sort of like apparatus setup. It's like a pedestal or a podium with a triangular sort of indentation on the top of it, and it looks like it projects something onto the wall like a movie projector. But it needs something that's in the got the base shape of a triangle to go into it.
I did not expect to see another throne like chair here. So now Nemuxo's curious about that. Is there anything she can tell? Is there like hidden mechanics to it? Why is there another one here?
Yeah, nothing really like special about it. There's not like a hidden compartment or like buttons or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just made out of this dark, like almost obsidian-like material.
Mm-hmm.
It probably feels faintly spooky. If Anaka or Ilsa inspects it more closely, it would feel much more spooky to you. Definitely has some sort of force connection. But aside from that, it's just a chair.
Okay. Do the same and sabotage that torture device too.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll mechanics on that.
If I roll low, do I make it more efficient?
Possibly. Nope. It's very broken. And again, not overtly.
Imperceptibly.
Yeah.
Great. We can't have this sort of thing going on. It ain't right.
Yeah.
And then check out the projector thing. I mean, it seems like it's just there to receive a very specific input, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah. There's really not much of a mechanism here, like mechanically speaking.
Mhm.
I think Muxa probably would have no idea what this is for. Anaka, you could roll Galactic Lore if you would like. Or use the Force if you'd like to try and figure out what this is for.
Should I use Galactic Lore, which I have no points in, or use the Force, in which I have 17? Decisions. Yeah, I'll use the Force.
Okay. I mean, it will give you different information depending on which one you use, but use the Force sounds like your better bet.
Let's see. 35.
So you reach out with the Force, and those whispers get way louder. You still can't understand what they're saying. It's definitely in a language you've not really heard before. And then as you sort of reach out to this podium, you sense there's something that with like an object of great power that's supposed to go into this. And it's very much so tied to the dark side. And it is Force related, whatever this object is.
Can I use whatever remnants are left over from whatever Force this object uses to get like a mental picture of what it looks like? Any details at all as to the specific look that it has, or do I just know the general shape based on the slot?
You can try again if you want to try to get more information.
Okay.
Specifically, like, now that you know more about it, trying to get those specifics, you can try.
All right, let's see what I can do. 25.
25. Would you like to throw a Force point or a D6 onto it?
Yeah, I'll use a Force point.
Okay. Because you might get some more information.
Force points are just a D6, right?
Mm-hmm.
A 5, so that brings it to a 30.
Yeah, awesome. That does give you a little bit more information than you would have received. So instead of getting very vague details, you see a figure. Sort of have like a Force vision. And you see a figure, you can't really make out anything about them. They're kind of blurred out. But you see that they're holding something that's got sort of a pyramid shape to it in their hands. And it's not super large. It's they can easily hold it with two hands. And you just see them setting this pyramid shaped thing down into that groove. And the projector displays information on the wall in red. And it's in a language that you can't read.
Okay.
And then the vision fades away.
Okay.
And you feel like cold inside after having witnessed that. Like not just like because you're on a cold planet, but like the inside of you feels cold.
Brr. Anaka doesn't say anything about it.
Okay. Like
She
you
just looks as
probably, yeah, I was gonna say, Anaka, you probably look super zoned out while this is happening. Does anybody else notice this or say anything?
Muxo notices, does not say anything. It's not her business.
Okay.
Also, will just ask if she's okay.
As she kind of comes out of this vision of the object, it takes her a moment to just like, she doesn't exactly like shake herself off or anything, but just kind of blink a couple times and get rid of that chill, and just gives Ilsa a nod. That's all.
Okay.
Jai, you've been quiet.
Jai is probably still tucked into a TIE Defender, just working on stuff.
There.
All right. Well then, that is all the information that you're going to be able to get from here. You have 2 more planets to check out. Unless there's anything else that you'd like to do, you've got 2 options. You've got Korriban or Dromund Kaas.
Let's go to the warmest one. If they're equidistant.
Yeah, they're roughly the same distance away. One is, I guess, what type of heat do you want? Do you want a dry heat or a humid heat?
Dry.
All right,
Korriban it is.
Korriban it is.
I was going to make a joke about humidity and frizzy hair until I remember that Anaka does not have hair, nor does she have ears, apparently. So
that's right.
It really
weird.
It's still weird. I agree.
That
So
still
yeah, it
blows
doesn't
my
really
mind.
matter to her.
I'm still like, how did I not know that they don't have ears? So wild. All right, then yeah, you're able to head off towards Korriban. That's not too far away. You'll be able to get there probably within a few hours. Is there anything that you want to do in transit?
Gripe about how much these people love torture.
Fair. Fair.
No. Musa doesn't want to do anything.
Ilsa's just adding the information that they get to the board.
Okay.
Make some
In that
nice
case-
snacks. Some go-go.
Nice. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All right, then when you get there, when you get to orbit around Korriban, much like Zeos did, it is an abandoned planet, and for good reason. There's no traffic around it that you notice immediately, but shortly after you come out of hyperspace and you start looking around, there is a blip that comes up, and there is a ship in orbit, and it looks like a smaller version of this. I've put it into Discord. I will also get it into chat. So it looks like a smaller version of the, for those interested, or who have played, I believe this is from Tor, the Gauge class, which the Black Talon was a Gauge class. So a much smaller version of that. Take that, miniaturize it down to something that, 1 or 2 people could potentially control, but is slightly bigger than like the freighter that you're in. And that's basically what you're looking at. There's a picture for chat there. So yeah, that's what's in orbit around the planet. It's definitely not a ship that any of you would recognize.
Which just makes it all the more exciting for a certain person who likes flying new things.
Jai will like look out the windows at it and just go like, "Oh yeah, we can sell that."
After we fly it, it'll be slightly used.
Well, we do have to get it where we're gonna sell it, so yeah.
So not damage it too much because this is probably our target.
Is anybody looking in Anaka's direction? Or are you guys all looking at this thing?
We need to ogle first.
Yeah, I'm just taking
Okay.
a new ship. It's very
So-
shiny.
That being said, as you guys are looking out at that, Jai says, "Oh, we can sell that," and there's just a tiny little muscle that twitches in Anaka's jaw. She doesn't say anything.
Okay.
Someone else is keeping secrets now. Hmm.
Speaking of Anaka, could I get a use the force check from you? From Ilsa as well.
Funny you said that because I already had it loaded into roll 20 to do. So it's a 28.
Yeah, though the whispering that you heard on Ziost is way louder here, and it's in that same language that you can't understand, but it's much louder. Ilsa, you're also starting to hear that strange language and just whispers that are very loud. And neither of you can really understand what they're saying, but you get this sort of sense, not quite a compulsion, but a sense that you should go down to the planet. Nothing's making you, but it seems to be like beseeching you to come down to the planet. And then Anaka specifically, there is a presence here that feels familiar. It's hard to make out with all the other dark side stuff here, but you're pretty sure this seems familiar.
How many presences is she gonna feel familiar with? Honestly, how many people has this girl made friends with?
You know the answer to that.
You would think so, but for the amount of times Raven says you recognize a familiar presence, I'm like, oh God, which one is it now?
Ilsa just looks creeped out.
So at any given moment, no, I don't know.
I will give you a hint. It's not anybody new that we haven't run into before.
Okay. Very
it's
good.
Not a new presence. Dark
Okay.
Tender. Ekanor likes that's great.
Keep swiping left. Just keep swiping left.
Oh my god. So what would you like to do?
Well, apparently Jai and I are counting guns and figuring out where the vulnerable spots are here.
Ilsa's like working on her thing, and then she like stops when she hears the whispering and just kind of is freaking out and just sits down and works on her plant.
Musa will actually turn at that, like, because she kind of has half an eye on you because you're so quiet.
And the whispers never seem to like go away. They
so
quiet down. Yeah, they quiet down when you're not focusing on them, but they're still there, persistent for Ilsa and Anaka.
So Ilsa thinks she's going crazy.
Oh no.
When Ilsa sits down, Musa will come over and put a hand on her shoulder and be like, "You all right there?"
I am trimming the plants again.
It's okay if you don't want to tell me, but you can tell me. We're about to go into something pretty big here.
Well, yes, but I don't want you to make me stay on the ship because I've gone crazy.
Well, that wasn't actually on the list of options. So you think you're going crazy?
Yes. I'm like calm about this, but I'm clipping the plant. Poor plant.
Oh, now, dear, now. Let's let it live. So like dangerous crazy? Like,
No, I was just hearing voices again.
How long have you been hearing voices?
How long has it, out of character, how long has it been?
For Ilsa, it just started once you got here to this planet.
Okay.
Well, this is a really creepy place, so I wouldn't say that's out of place. You wanna just run with it, see how it goes? We'll look out for you.
Are you guys within earshot of Anaka?
I'm
Or-
assuming we're in the cockpit. G-
Uh,
Gawking out the
oh.
windows. Oh, yeah, no, that was in the kitchen, wasn't it?
Where's the thing? The board?
I think the dining room, the dining area. So
Because
not
she was working
far
on
from the
the-
cockpit.
She was working
Yeah,
on the
it's-
murder board.
It's definitely like it's not a long hallway between that and the cockpit, and the door is definitely still open.
Well, I feel like once we caught sight of that ship, we would have like got the scanners to work on it and have a projection of it, so we can rotate it in the dining room where we have the comms table.
So the dining room's kind of like their investigation room,
Yeah.
their lab.
I'm going to assume yes then. You do get a very brief look from Anaka when you say that you're hearing voices, but she does not say anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll look out for
Um,
you. We'll be fine. You're not getting stuck on the ship.
All right.
Also of note, the ship hasn't really moved or tried to hail you or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. We've also not tried to hail it.
Is there
Yeah.
a way to like covertly tell if anybody's on it, like a message, or are they pinging or anything?
You could try to do like an active scan with your sensors,
Mhm.
which if somebody is over there, they would know that you're actively scanning for them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want anybody to know.
Or
Can Anaka try to use the force?
I was gonna say, or Anaka or Ilsa can try to use the force here to sense if there's any life signs. Though I will say before, that is a really good roll, but just before that happens, I'm just gonna put this out
Yep.
there.
Okay.
You both are noticing the more you use the force around these places, the worse the whispering and weird feelings are starting to get. So
That's okay.
Okay. Um,
On my end, at least.
Okay, just making sure you know the situation before you jump in. So with a 29, Anaka, you don't feel any life forms on that ship right now. But you do feel that presence, and you audibly hear a whisper just going, Anaka. Like somebody was whispering in your ear.
That's not creepy at all, and in fact, the least creepy thing I've ever experienced in my life. So that's great. For a moment, she very, very quickly just turns her head a little bit, as if responding to somebody whispering in her ear.
Uh-huh.
But then kind of fixes her eyes back
Okay.
like it didn't happen.
And with that, you're pretty sure this is the same presence that you felt on that Star Destroyer. The one orbiting the moon that y'all were blowing stuff up on. Ilsa, with a 15, you get a very vague sense of the other ship, and you're pretty sure there's nobody over there, but you aren't 100% positive, and that urge to go to the planet feels stronger.
We should go down there.
What? The ship's right there. And Jai leans down and points out, down the hall, out the window to the ship. It's right there. Ilsa, we can just take it. You can have a whole second ship to cottagecore out.
Well, we could if, more than one of our TIE defenders was in working condition.
We could dock
Wait.
this ship.
How many
God,
ties
it's
was?
Ilsa's fine. It just doesn't have shields. Yours is perfect. And I've working on Muxos. It needs a lot.
Wow, I turned my back for 1 second and it all falls apart.
Look, proton torpedoes do a lot of damage, and I almost killed Saxon.
Yes.
At that, Muso will move her hand from Ilsa's shoulder over to yours. Yes, dear, of course you did.
Well,
We're gonna get him.
you want to go down there? Do you suspect our mark might be down there?
It's on our list. We have to go down there.
Yeah,
Okay.
fair enough.
Okay. Tell you
Can't
what.
argue with that.
You feel that strongly. I'm not going to stop you.
Let's split the party.
Oh,
How are we
this can
splitting it?
only end well.
You
Me,
want to do this a lot.
Zadu, Locke, and I don't know, anybody else who wants to come, we'll go take that ship. Anybody else can go down to the spooky evil Jedi planet that is spooky and evil and Jedi. Because Jai got a really high roll earlier and hasn't told anybody that he knows all of this dark side lore.
Well, if it's spooky and evil, it would kind of be like the past two places we went.
Yeah, I didn't like
Oh.
those either, but I was stuck in a ship. I was fixing things.
So if it's the same spooky evilness as the caves, then we probably really should go down there.
Jai is just legit like trying to do this math in his head. Like, how do these things line up?
You know what, Jai?
If you want to go,
Everyone's feeling very strongly in different directions, so I think it is best that we perhaps commence a little split, keep comms open, and be ready to deploy if our friends should need us. But any objections? Let's put it to a vote.
Locke, we're gonna take a ship.
Excellent.
Please.
Are there people to murder over there?
Almost certainly.
Oh, good. To the ship.
Wait.
He
We
waves a
do have to
blaster
keep
arm.
one of them alive.
Wait a minute. As I remember, last time it was put to a vote, half of us went neutral, and then it was just 1-1.
Okay.
Did
I
you
will-
say there was no presence that Anaka really felt on the other ship, or was it just the whispering?
No, you don't sense any life forms on that ship. But when you were reaching out, that's when you heard the whisper.
Right, and it came from the direction of the ship rather than
From-
the ground?
I mean, it came from like right next to your ear, but if you had to like say where did
Right.
this originate in the first place, probably towards the planet.
Okay. Jai says, oh, definitely, there are things to kill. And Anaka speaks up and say, actually, I didn't really feel any life forms over there.
Job got easier.
Now, hold on.
Locke seems disappointed, but is still on board.
Locke,
With the-
you know, life forms. Do you register droids as part of your life forms, Anaka?
No.
So there could
Typically-
be droids.
Yes. Typically, when I search for life forms, I do mean things that are living.
Okay, thank you.
Things that contain the Force.
And then Zadu looks back at Locke. Locke, how do you feel about droid on droid violence?
Well, I would prefer to kill organics first, but droids will do.
Okay,
As long
I'm
as
just
they are
checking.
not same
Yeah.
model as me, and I'm happy with it.
You know, I just have to check in, make sure you're good to go in case of such a stumble in the road.
Look, what if there was a droid the same model as you threatening Sadu?
This would be a difficult choice, but Zadu is very last on the list of things to kill, so I think I would have to defend Master.
I like that answer a lot.
I would be sad, but I would do it.
All talk of stealing the ship aside, we are here to do a job, and the person that we're here for is not on that ship.
Good point.
Now, that
I
being
am
said-
worried. I don't. Oh, See, there is this issue with the last two places, not the last two. We've been to several places where there were some pretty scary, not organics associated with things. Are we really that comfortable sending you over? I mean, and then Muxa will reach over, dial some things into the communications table, and like just bring up the scariest droid from the factory, looking up into the vent.
Yeah.
Like, this is a thing that could be there.
Interesting. It does look
Okay.
like a challenge.
All right. Well, if you're comfortable with that, and Anaka and Ilsa really want to go down to the planet, I will take them, and you can try to take the ship.
Anaka's like inspecting her own nails as she talks, so she's not looking at anybody in particular, just her fingers. But she says, it might be an interesting challenge, but it wasn't the one that we came here for. And I would advise against splitting up the only people we have to get this job done.
Okay. So no
We
one's
could
on
do the
the
planet
ship.
and then the ship. It'd be like dessert.
Sure. Okay. So
The ship is cake.
step one.
Everything is cake.
I have a plan.
I'm listening. I like plans.
I'm a very good computer person. So why don't I hack into, like, we get alongside the other ship, I hack into their network, and we just kind of shut it down until we get back. So no one can just fly away. Then we go down to the planet, find the person that we need the bounty for, come back up here, turn on the ship, and we all fly away to a really big payday.
I love this plan.
You know, Jai, you might be good at computers, but your intelligence level and your common sense are two very different things, I find.
It's true. My wisdom score is very low and my intelligence score is rather high.
I love this plan.
I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
I'll go where the tides take me. So whatever majority rules, I follow.
Do whatever you want, just make sure you don't die in the process.
I won't even leave the ship until we get to the planet.
Don't worry so much about dying. Once you die, you're dead. It's all over, so you have no more worries.
Jai just goes,
Perhaps the dead person might not have any other worries, but the other people who were relying on them to get a job done, well, that's a different story now, wouldn't it be?
Ja, if you die and I survive you, I will take that damn Saxon down.
heck yeah. All right. So can we, let's hack the thing and get to the planet.
Yes. That was great. Now?
Okay.
Or do you need to prepare something?
I have a computer. We just need to get within range of their network.
Excellent. Muxo will take the wheel.
Muxo, take the wheel.
Oh my god. So you're wanting to fly close to this ship then, yeah?
Just within Wi-Fi range, really. I just need to check in on some recipes.
Oh, it's gonna look fancy. It's
Okay.
important.
Go ahead and give me a pilot check there, Muxo.
With all of my excessively good mechanics checks, I feel like this is going to go badly, and it should. That's not fair.
It'll be fine. See, totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, I do add 16.
Oh, yeah. You fly right up there. How close do you want to get to the ship, and how do you do it?
I want to show off.
Okay.
Very, very close.
Oh, please no.
Very close.
Okay.
Sorry, did I say that?
Not so like close enough that there's like some small danger of their magnetic fields bouncing a little.
Okay. Yeah, totally. You'd pull that off with no problem.
Excellent.
Jai, I need a used computer.
Heck yeah. 25.
You try to access the Wi-Fi, so to speak. And to use that same analogy, when you're searching for Wi-Fi networks, nothing shows up.
Hey, how old would a ship have to be to not have a network?
What?
The ship doesn't have a network. Hold on. Is that ship real? Am I seeing things?
According
Sensors.
to all the ship's sensors, it's real, yeah.
Okay,
sensors
so
indicate, Captain.
old or sneaky? Old or sneaky? Which do we think it is? Because if it's sneaky, we should probably be prepared for sneakiness.
What do you want to do?
I truly have no answers for you. It is what it is.
Okay, well, I can't get into it because it's either old or sneaky, and I hate that. So I guess we go down to the planet. Jai is noticeably bummed.
This is not to be construed as a suggestion at all, just letting you know there is a docking port that you could fly the ship into to get
Yeah?
physically onto the ship.
Is there?
There's no door blocking your way.
Let's do it.
No, no.
Later,
Go-
look. There
go
was
to
a
the planet.
plan. There was
Go
a
to the
plan.
planet.
We're gonna go to the planet and
There
then
you
come
go.
back and take it.
All right.
Good job.
Oh,
Jai just like rotates his chair around and just looks at Inaka and just goes, "You're being real antsy about this. Normally, you just let me do stupid stuff."
She looks like she's going to say something, but just doesn't.
Okay.
Elsa's gotten ready to go already.
Okay.
Like pacing in the hallway.
No, just standing there watching you.
Okay.
Hmm.
So then is the plan for everyone to go down to the planet then?
yes.
Okay. So
Sure.
you don't split the party. You go down to the planet. And I need another use the force check from Anaka and Ilsa.
Oh boy. What shit have we gotten ourselves into now? Wow, that's
Going
horrible.
to Korriban, it's the worst.
Hey, Sith happens.
Oh,
You know what? True.
Oh.
Oh goodness. Here we go. Yeah, this is the picture that I was looking for. Let me I'm grabbing a link for your reference here. So 21 and a 13. So Ilsa, don't really get anything new. For Anaka, you get a very vague sense that the whispers are somehow louder coming from a specific spot on the planet. I am going to throw a link into Discord, so you can see what that looks like.
Would potentially adding a force point do anything or not? Because if not, then I won't bother.
I mean, it could, but it won't be especially useful new information. It
Okay.
would just be sort
well,
of
then
like
never
a neat FYI sort of a thing. But yeah, that's what it looks like. That's actually the picture that shows up on the preview. I'll throw that into chat.
So we're
here as well.
going to Sith Egypt.
Kinda, yeah. Actually, you're
I love
You're-
that.
you're not,
It's
and you're not wrong.
Hey,
It-
by
just
the way,
imagine it much meaner.
but before
Yeah.
we land, Everyone's got backup characters, right?
You've got your
Absolutely
Sith
not.
Walk. I've got a force-wielding Gungan.
Okay.
If anyone wishes to inflict that upon the party, they're welcome to kill Jai.
Ilsa's twin sister, whose name is reversed. Somehow has the exact same sheet.
Matt, contrary to Anaka, I rather enjoy Jai's presence and his constant bothering of her. So you're not allowed to die, because then that friendship is just immediately void, and the friendship point that I gave you is no longer a thing.
Oh, I could have called him the friendship point. Anaka's gonna be Jai's best friend. We both know it's true.
Well, she can't exactly do that if Jai is dead. So, you know.
I'm just saying. The choice to murder us or not is out of my hands.
Hey, man. You know? The Force will do what it does.
I will just say this. When faced with a seemingly insurmountable obstacle, retreat is always an option.
That also. I would also just like to point out that Anaka will not be friends with a Gungan. I'm sorry. That just, it's never going to happen. So.
Look, the Gungan Jedi is more of a threat than anything else, really. Nobody wants that.
Retreat is only an option if your enemies let you escape.
Yeah, which I'm just saying, you know, that might be the case here. All right, so you're heading to the Valley of the Dark Lords. I'm assuming Anaka points out that that's where you need to go. Is that the case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're heading there, and that's kind of what you see from orbit. And now that we've established all of that, I just realized we are way overdue for a break. So we're going to take a break. I'll let you guys kind of think about how you want to approach this. And we'll be back in 15 minutes to wrap up this session for the next half hour or so after the break. So yeah, be right back. It's going to be good. Oops, wrong overlay. There we go. Hello, we are back from our break, and we're gonna see some cool stuff. We had some really good conversations about what's coming up over the break. So, as mentioned, you point everybody to the Valley of the Dark Lords on Korriban. And the closer you get, the stronger that sort of presence feels for Anaka, and then Ilsa, you're starting to feel a singular presence, not just the whispering, but like an individual that feels very creepy, for lack of a better word. Very strong and powerful and creepy, and even though there's nobody else on the ship, it feels like there's some ominous presence standing right next to you. And then you land, and before you even get off the ship, you can kind of see the layout from the cockpit. You're essentially in this giant canyon that just goes straight across, kind of like a box canyon. And on either side are these giant tombs, not terribly unlike what you would see like from ancient Egypt with the pyramids and statues of pharaohs and things like that. On that scale, but very different types of architecture and layout and whatnot. But to give you some sort of sense of scale, that's the size we're talking. Excuse me. That's the size we're talking about. And they're lining both sides of this canyon. Different figures, most of them with, hooded cloaks as part of their apparel in these statues. Some of them have the hood drawn back and are of a race that none of you have really seen before. Humanoid, but with strange sort of facial appendages, I guess you could say. They just don't look like a familiar race to you. All of it seems very creepy. It's daylight out. It's very hot and dusty. It's desert type terrain and environment. But you have that same sort of feeling of walking through a creepy graveyard on Halloween night at midnight or something like that. Just that sense of not being alone and being watched, and like there's dark presences there. So you get all that before you even step off the ship. And off in the distance at the end of this canyon is a rather large, I'm not quite sure if it's a tomb or a temple, but if it is a tomb, it's very, very much so larger than the rest. And Anaka and Ilsa, you're pretty sure that's where you need to go. You also sense a smaller presence, much weaker, with this person.
Guess Ilsa's just going to point to where they should go.
Musa will clap them both on the shoulder and say, "Lead the way, ladies. We're right behind you."
Okay. As you're walking along, I assume everybody's going?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's staying on the ship? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Nobody.
Nobody's touring the area by herself.
No, that seems like a bad choice.
It does. And on that note, I need perception checks from everyone. If you have used the Force, you can use it. But again, using the Force here has strange side effects.
Perception?
Yes.
I used my force perception.
Okay.
I don't see anything.
All right. So everybody except for Anaka is just dead set, locked in on that big building at the end of this canyon.
Musa was watching Ilsa in concern.
Okay. Anaka, with a 28, one of those tombs off to your left, doesn't literally glow, but it's almost like it's like somebody upped the saturation on that section of your vision. It looks more vivid and colorful and appealing, and the whispers get louder in your ears as you look at it. And sort of that same sensation that made you want to come down to the planet, it's just sort of luring you towards it.
And this is not the same place that we're heading to.
No.
No. Anaka slows her pace and kind of turns her body towards this specific place. And she reaches up and pushes down the hood that she usually has up, obscuring her face. She pushes that back. And the only really sound from her while she's moving is like the fabric of the hood brushes past the jewelry, the like headpieces that she has kind of draped around her leku and things like that. So they give off like a little jingle as the fabric settles around her shoulders, and she just stands there and looks at it.
Okay. Does everyone else keep walking? Does anybody notice that Anaka's just standing still?
Oh, not with any perception roll I've made.
Okay.
Well,
That's fair.
she's leading, so
Oh, yeah, no, if she's in front of
that's
us,
true.
then probably.
That's true. Okay. Then yeah, you probably all notice this. What does Anaka do now?
How strong is that pull on her? Is it enough for her to be more inclined to peek in there, or is it just kind of like a nagging feeling?
It's pretty strong. Like those whispers start to make a little bit more sense. And you're not getting like a direct translation of the language that they're speaking in, but you just find that you have understanding of sentences. Almost like instead of it being a different language that you're having to translate, it's just the ideas are going straight into your head. And the big word that resonates is power from this tomb.
God damn it, Raven.
As in, there's power to be had here.
She takes a couple steps closer.
Okay. The closer you get, the stronger that sensation is, and the more those words start to make sense. And I don't know that I can do the voice at the moment, but imagine like the condescending imperial voice, but with more actual power behind it. So like when Anaka has heard like a Moff or an admiral or somebody talking like they're self-important, you can kind of feel that a lot of that is projecting that as a sort of like coping or not coping, what's the word I'm looking for? Compensating. Like they're not actually that important, so they puff themselves up and talk as if they are. You don't get any of that sense from this. This person is very powerful and very important, and is speaking from confidence rather than arrogance. And is the voice just says that the power you seek is here. It's yours for the taking.
Vanessa, the player, doesn't want to keep going, but Anaka would. I hate it. Baby girl, turn around. This is not what you're here for. She goes a couple steps closer. Are any of you gonna say anything?
This is clearly in an
please?
opposite direction of where we were walking before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ilsa can't tell anything, right?
No, the force check was too low.
Then
Yeah,
Jai will just be like,
forces.
which way are we going?
Ilsa will follow Anaka.
Okay.
Well, no, Anaka seems like she knows what she's doing.
You know that meme of the lady? You know that meme of the
We're all
lady
gonna
who's like
fucking
bent over
die.
and she's got her hands on her knees and she's like squinting? That's the pose I'm doing right now.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
If Anaka is doing the creeping forward thing, this is
No.
time to be like, ladies,
It's me. I'm wheezing through the pain.
I understand that this is an intense place for Anaka to be. Is this our goal though?
After Muxo speaks, like the voice just gets louder in your head, Anaka, and it just says, "That's not important. The power you need is here." And this presence seems to notice Ilsa too, and says, "And bring your new apprentice."
this is
Ilsa's just like, what are you looking at? What's down there?
this is the worst party for this because the only look on Zada's face is, all right, guess we're going this way.
You guys, I trusted you.
Oh, hey.
I don't know
I'm trying
why.
to stop
Hey.
you, but I'm being polite about it.
I don't know why. Zadu is the embodiment of I'm just happy to be here.
Jai doesn't have the force. He's just creeped out by all this.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I don't feel
Well,
a thing.
This isn't.
Given-
This won't kill you. I'll tell you
okay,
that
well,
much.
given the fact that everybody's just kind of like, oh, I guess, Anaka
No, Muxo's
goes
not saying,
ahead.
oh, I guess. She's trying to be gentle and redirecting you.
Yeah, see, Muxo, that doesn't mean jack shit in the face of the Dark Force side, okay?
What do you want me to do? Tackle you?
Anaka-
If you
There is
take a few
nothing-
steps further, Muxo will grab your arm and try to spin you back toward where we're supposed to go, because this is a whole lot of fucking money.
It's true.
It is a lot of money.
We have a person who's been tortured to save.
Anaka, since you've been using the force and you've definitely started going down this path with this entity, you get a flash of anger when your arm's grabbed. That's not your own anger, just a feeling of anger. And the voice says to you that your weapon is unfitting someone of your power, that you need a weapon worthy of you, and that is in this tomb. Come claim it.
Oh, God damn it.
You can walk away. There's nothing making you go in here.
Yes, but Raven, you've said all of the key bullet words.
I know.
Wow, it's
That's
like
the
you spent
problem.
so much time giving Raven just a list of things to make Anaka do whatever she wanted. Look at all
And
these
it's-
wonderful buttons you've given me.
And it's fun, and I don't mind, but I know that I've done this, and I hate it. Because I, as a player, know that this is not the correct direction. However, there is nothing in my brain that could potentially curb her trajectory. These are all the keywords that you need to activate the funny haha place in her brain. So she's gonna want to go there.
Okay.
So she does indeed try to continue going there.
Muxo hasn't let go of your arm yet.
And Ilsa's following because you don't let your friends go into creepy places by themselves.
That's true. I love Ilsa.
Anaka, let's accomplish our goal, and then whatever the hell space wizard shit's going on in there, we can take care of it.
Yeah, I walked
Okay.
away from the ship.
Because I don't want to be the bitch that ruins everything. Raven, is there something I can roll to snap out of it?
All you have to do is just say, no, I'm not going to do it. The pool's
But
there,
see-
but you can decide to ignore it.
But see, if I use the dice, then I don't have to feel bad about fucking everything up.
Hey,
We
we'll go with you on
preemptively forgive you.
Yeah. Players will go with you on this ride. Jai's
Yeah.
gonna be real mad if he finds out that you talked him out of a ship and then
And-
took him down into a tomb that we didn't have to go into.
I will give you this meta knowledge. This isn't going to kill you, and it's not going to keep you from doing the quest that you're on. This is just a side thing that you can take or leave.
Let's do it.
And you being rude to Muso is nothing new, so it's fine.
I mean, that is true. She consistently gives you eye rolls and things like that while you're not looking, so it's fine. Yeah. She will promptly take her arm back and keep going.
You lie to Muso and say it's where we're supposed to go.
No, she doesn't lie.
Well, we can't
But
let
she
you
does
go
keep it.
alone.
Oh, excuse me.
No, if by omission Anaka is insisting this is the way we should go, then this is the way we should go. Lead on.
Let's see here. Sorry, 1 second.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I can't give Raven all of the bullet words and then act like the surprised Pikachu meme when she uses them. So if she's gonna use them, then like, oh shucks, guess I'm gonna have to go that way.
Aw,
No, it's
shucks.
totally fair. I would expect nothing.
Yeah,
I would want nothing less for you as a player.
act the character.
Yeah.
More than
Um,
anything, I'm trying to convince myself that this is okay, that I can
Do
be
it.
foolish.
Do it.
And the
The
words
weapon that's worthy of you is in the tomb.
and the words of a great Sith Lord. Do it.
Well, you said the line. I have to now.
All right.
Fun
So
session, guys. Fun session.
so as you go into the tomb, the voice is louder, and it just sort of guides you, like saying, "All right, turn left, turn right." It's sort of a little bit of a maze inside of corridors and hallways, and then you come to a spot where it seems to be a dead end, and the voice speaks up again and says, "You must make the sacrifice for the way to open." And there's like a handprint sort of engraving in the wall. Doesn't specify what the sacrifice is.
That's trap.
You don't know what's going on in her head.
Oh, do we see the handprint or is it just nothing? Like,
Oh, everybody sees the handprint, yeah. Like anybody that's
That-
there.
that's a trap. This place sucks. That's a trap.
Where are we, Anaka? I don't see a hostage here.
The voice
Probably hiding somewhere.
speaks to you, Anaka, and says that you are in the tomb of Darth Hadzuska.
Anaka just says the name out loud. She's trying to figure out what the sacrifice is, so she doesn't have the brain power to form the appropriate full sentences. She just says the name.
Okay.
Bless you.
Are there any are there any attached like chambers? Can I take a look around while that's happening?
You can, though, with all the twists and turns of the corridors that you've had to follow with Anaka to get here, you do know it's easy to get lost in here. So it is, you can at your own risk.
I won't go too far.
Okay. I need a perception roll.
Oh, maybe I will. Never mind.
You look around, but you're unable to find the hallway that went to the different rooms. So you're still with the group.
Is there anything other than like the handprint that we can see?
There's some strange writing above the handprint, but you're not able to read it. It's in a language that you don't understand.
How am I this blind?
What's next?
Anaka just like tentatively touches the handprint that's there.
Okay. Like just with a finger or your whole hand?
Like the pads of her fingers. She's just like touching the indent.
Okay. When you do, there's a little like ka-chink noise, and you feel a tiny little like prickly sensation on your palm, and you can see that a couple of needles have sort of like jabbed out where your palm would be.
Ah.
And by needles, I mean like just sharp things, not like injection needles. Something that would make you bleed.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, okay. She'll put her hand there.
It does the ka-chink thing again. Your hand bleeds more than you would expect it to from that little wound. And then the whole room kind of shakes a little bit as that wall sort of like lifts up and then moves to the side. And your hand hurts quite a bit. There's quite a lot of pain, but you don't seem to be in any danger. You don't lose any hit points or anything like that. It just hurts a lot. And maybe that makes you angry, maybe not.
What's the Star Wars equivalent of a tetanus shot?
There's probably one in the med kit, yeah. But as soon as the wall moves away, like lanterns, or not lanterns, like torches, light up all around the room. And there's a big statue of this guy with the hood back, and he's got the strange-looking face of a race that you've never seen before. Out of character, it's a Sith race person, so an actual Sith. And then in the middle of the room, right underneath that statue, is what looks like a sarcophagus or coffin made out of stone, and resting ever so neatly in the middle of it is a leather-wrapped lightsaber. Like a leather-wrapped hilt lightsaber.
So a free space sword.
Space sword.
And the voice speaks up again and says, the weapon you hold is a relic of children. Cast it aside and take on the weapon of a true Sith. Only Anaka's hearing this, by the way.
Yeah. Is there, if she looks around, is there any like indication that there is a trap or anything there that she can see, or is it just a room?
I mean, it's a creepy Sith tomb, so you probably get that general sense of anxiety, but there's nothing that screams trap or anything like that. It looks relatively safe.
Well, we came all the way here and we made all these bad decisions, and by we I mean me. So she's gonna go and she's gonna take the thing.
Okay. Just because I have to do this trope. So you touch it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
In order to take it, she does need to touch it. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you do, you're, well, for one, it's a fancy lightsaber. I'll tell you the fancy stats later. But you immediately feel a sense of power from it. And then from the statue, there's this like dark shadow, almost like the shadow of the statue itself just rushes towards you, and just seems to like get absorbed into you.
is it like, is it a physical thing? Does she like feel force from it? Like, is it a push, or is it just like,
No,
just like a you know?
you might feel like you've walked through a fog bank, so it's cold. But there's no real substance to it that you can tell. You suddenly feel a little more powerful. But yeah, you don't really feel anything else, like physically. You don't notice anything different.
I think in that case, if there's nothing that kind of sets off any warning bells for her, she's gonna unwrap the weapon and see it.
It's just sitting there, like the hilt is wrapped in leather, like a leather bound grip.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Let's ignite the bad bitch.
What did you say?
I said, let's ignite the bad bitch then.
Oh. Gotcha. Yeah, as soon as you do, you feel a rush of power, almost like a feeling of giddiness. And maybe just a tiny bit of bloodlust as you ignite this lightsaber, and you suddenly feel like a total badass.
With that giddiness...
Oh, sorry, one more second. The blade itself is... it's like a crimson core with an outline of kind of like black, but it's like a shadow around it, around the whole blade.
Badass. As that sense of giddiness kind of goes through her, she just lets out this high-pitched peal of laughter as she ignites it, just laughing, and it genuinely sounds like a good time. Like, it's not some creepy, like, weird laugh. Like, it's a genuine, like, she's having a good time.
Nice. Also, just for you, V, because I know you'll enjoy this. It is a solid blade like most lightsabers, but it's got that like ominous sort of bassy hum like Kylo Ren's lightsaber has. Just for you as a treat.
You know how to pander to my my brain gremlin so well, and I truly appreciate it. Yeah, no, this delights her in a most genuine of ways. So she's got her back to all of y'all, and she's just laughing now with this lightsaber ignited.
Muxa will give just like a wry look to, Zadu and Jai. I imagine that Ilsa is not looking. She's looking at Anaka. They're just sort of like, oh, them Force users. That's the kind of look they're getting.
This all seems fine, right? This all seems fine. It is creepy in here. Can we go? Anaka got a toy. It's very creepy.
We also
It takes Anaka just a few more seconds of happily playing with this lightsaber like a child for her to
That's scary.
Yeah. For her to put the blade away and grip the hilt in her hand. And she turns around to face you guys again. And there's a lot more expressiveness to her features now. Like she there's that leftover giddiness. She looks like she's in a good mood for once. And she gives you a very toothy grin. You can see the fangs peeping out. And she says, yeah, let's go.
Okay.
So she doesn't need her other lightsaber, right? What? She got a cool one. I don't have anything.
You would assume not, but she does not make any move to unclip the other one from her belt.
I freaking love that. That's great.
Okay.
And it's a +2 lightsaber, by the way. Which means it's a +2 to your attack, and then a +2 to damage with the lightsaber.
Perfect.
And that fancy lightsaber will have no downsides whatsoever, we're sure. Also, the whispering in the voices has stopped for you.
Cool. Does Elsa hear anything?
Because they live inside you now.
Ilsa's still hearing some whispering, but not loud. It's pretty much just like it has been.
Okay.
And with that, you're able to make it out of the tomb. I assume you all go back on task, right?
Yes.
I will say, you do, Anaka, get sort of a weird feeling of like your hand where those needle things stuck into your palm. You get a little pang of like stabby pain there when you leave with your own lightsaber still. Like that comes to mind, the voice saying throw the toy aside and take over your weapon. But aside from that, nothing else happens.
Okay.
And yeah, you're all able to make it to this big temple tomb thing. Is there anything that you want to do before you go inside? Excuse me.
Moose will briefly check in with Ilsa.
Mhm.
Still worried about things? You gonna be all right? Just sort of like finger under the chin, checking her eye reactions, but not in any like I'm actually checking you out kind of way. But like, look, I'm concerned about you medically.
Just quiet.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, she's trying to keep going.
While that's happening, Jai is going to sidle up to Anaka and just go, you need your hand fixed at all? Because you just like put it right in a trap.
Is it still bleeding substantially, or?
Can we not describe it in too much detail, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to know if it's still, running so that she would need medical attention for it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's mostly healed up as far as like bleeding is concerned.
She kind of flexes her hands a little bit, and then just looks back to Jai, like, nah.
Okay. You're going to help me steal that ship later because of that. That tomb was creepy as hell.
Any response from Naka on that?
Anaka gives Jai like a mean smile, and says, "But Jai, don't you think that it would make a perfect home base for us to operate out of? I mean, I personally think the space is divine. We could do whatever we want with the place."
The ship, yes. The tomb, I will blow up if you try to take us back in there. I have so much explosives.
I'm sure you
Anaka,
do, Jai.
As you mentioned, trying to make that like a home base, like you just throw that suggestion out there. There's a voice in the back of your head that goes, "It gets tiring after a while, trust me."
Love it. I'm sorry.
That's it.
I know I took you guys on a wild goose chase, but this is substantially hilarious for me, and I love it. You guys have your grenades and your jetpacks, and I have my haha funny head ghost.
And our selfies.
Yeah.
Ha ha, funny head ghost. If we needed a raid cry.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So moving forward, then, if there's nothing else that you want to do, as soon as you walk into this temple,
Hold on, before we move along, Anaka hears that in her head, and just she kind of absently repeats it out loud, where she's like, no, yeah, that's true. It might get a little tiring after a while, and then she just continues like nothing's wrong.
Okay. In that case, everybody is of course able to hear that, the things that are said out loud, and then when you go into the temple, you can see in a very similar cage to the others, there is a lady in kind of like Han Solo kind of an outfit, but the vest is like leather, and the pants don't have the stripe down the side. And she's got several braids in her hair that are tied with leather strips with little beads attached to them, much like the thing that Muxo found. Zadu, you recognize this prisoner from the very first episode of our campaign, the one that was being carried away.
Well.
Next to the cage
Oh.
is a very tall, very skinny, cloaked figure. And from this person, 12 lightsabers float up in the air and ignite.
You son of a bitch.
And they just say, "You all took your time getting here. I had foreseen you arriving much sooner." And that's where we'll end the session.
Our fault.
Please.
Hey, also, you wanted a lightsaber. I mean, we got a choice.
Now you can pick a color, any color that you like.
Welcome to my saber shop. Which one would you prefer?
Been a while.
Well, the person has all like using them all, right?
Now Zadu.
Yeah, there's 12 of them floating in the air.
Yeah, so she's probably not going to
via the
get one of
Force.
those.
I'm sure. Look, I'm sure this person is clearly Savi from Disney World, and is just offering you a selection.
The
You know
chance
what? Last
changes.
time Zadu ran into this character, he did not ask nicely if he could have a lightsaber. So you know what? That route hasn't been tried yet.
It's
And
gonna
so you-
happen again.
You could always just say, "Hey, could I please have a lightsaber?" We don't know. Could work. Just a thought.
True. It's true.
Uh-oh.
It's a galaxy of possibilities, and you won't know if you don't try.
It's
But-
true.
Oh,
I'll have to figure out
guys.
if she can. Well, I guess she could have one if she. Yeah, never mind.
Perhaps this person has never known kindness or compassion. Maybe asking politely and being a decent human being
Well, she
might
also
do
still hasn't
something.
figured out the forceness.
No.
She's still kind of confused.
You almost got that sentence out without laughing, Vanessa. I'm very impressed.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness, that was a lot of fun. And now, Vanessa, you know why I asked the question. Like, how do you feel about being possessed by a Force ghost? It's gonna be great.
As a person, as the player, I knew the difference. Anaka just likes power.
Yep.
Mm.
All right. We're gonna go on a raid here in just a minute. Before we do, I'm gonna let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them, anything they'd like to share or plug. And then our raid cry is "haha, funny head ghost." You can copy that right out of chat. And we're gonna go reverse order. So we'll start with Mr. Parr. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
My favorite part of this week is definitely the horrifying realization that the group collectively went through when they realized nobody would stop this from happening, going into just a random tomb. Because we're all just playing characters that are kind of just like go with the flow.
Well, we've only been
cosmic horror.
hanging out together for like 2 weeks.
It was kind of great. It was kind of fantastic.
Mhm.
Preemptively for next session, my favorite part is going to be when Zadu inevitably challenges the Dark Lord to another duel.
Yes.
and gets his ass whooped.
Yeah.
You just
gonna be-
really want a Sithy walk.
It's gonna be great.
You
This
know,
is
did
the
Zadu
character
ever
I chose.
tell Anaka that this character specifically asked for her?
I don't think so.
Did this character
No.
specifically ask for her?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they told you when you were leaving the ship. They were like, "Hey, let Anaka know that I said hello."
It's literally
Oh.
the only reason they let Zadu live.
Yeah. Didn't do that.
Anaka's gonna be like, "Hey, who's this asshole?" And then they're gonna turn to Zadu and be like, "You didn't tell her?"
That's rough, buddy.
Oh my
I
God,
wanted something that day. And you wanted something, and neither of us got what we want. So let's try this again. Let's run it back.
Fair's fair.
Oh goodness.
Next session's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be great, yeah. I'm excited.
And where we can find you?
Yeah, where we can find you or anything else you want to
Oh,
plug.
you find me on Twitch at Mr. Par, and you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Par4E and Par Professional for more sort of businessy sort of things.
Awesome.
And that's it for me.
All right. Next, let's hop over to Hope. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
So my favorite part is always going to be making Raven uncomfortable with NPC encounters. So any chance that Muso gets to be in a cantina and make people talk to her, gonna take it.
Oh, that's great.
But getting to sort of reach out and be caring toward Ilsa was really good too. I liked that. We're gonna get that ship. That ship's awesome. That's the thing. I don't know if we're gonna sell it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check it out first. Like if we can run that with 2 people, we don't have like more guns and hands. Just like the TIE Defenders are really cool, but also fleet. I mean, how many ships does it take to make a fleet? Like 5 seems like a pretty good number.
Yeah.
I love you all so much. You're awesome. Like there's a favorite moment with all of you, but I wanted to like leave those 2 as a highlight. You can find me on Twitter at HopeTracy71 and on Monday nights on Milady Saito's channel for Tales of Drahi.
Awesome. Matt, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you would like to share or plug?
Oh boy, I think my favorite part was Anaka leading us on a merry chase to hell, and then just the string of bad decisions, like empirically bad decisions that she made is delightful, and I cannot wait to see how this bites all of us in the ass at some point. And just like watching Anaka like come alive in the middle of all that madness is very fun. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Hoadley, and you can find me on Twitch, just renamed the channel. It's now Fifth Draw Live is now the Twitch channel. I'm on there Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Central Time. We're currently doing a Nuzlocke run. My first trainer died horribly when 2 rando trainers murdered all of his Pokemon.
No.
So we're doing it again, except we're going to do it better this time. We have a new trainer. Her name is Scotch, because in our headcanon, she's dating Hop. So they're hopscotch, and that's adorable. And I hate it.
I love that.
And and I have a podcast called Hard Reboot. Me and 2 friends take a public domain property and give it a fresh coat of paint. That's where you can find me.
Awesome. Next, we've got Nikki. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you'd like to share or plug?
I just like getting to play. Like I was looking forward to playing all week. And this is a lot of fun. This is a really fun group and a fun game.
Aw,
And I liked all of it.
awesome.
And I can't think of anything to plug. I do like it that everybody's sticking together, even though some people are not making the best choices. It's like, okay, we're still a team.
Oh my goodness. When y'all were contemplating splitting the party, I was just, in my head I was just going like, oh no, oh no. I'm so glad that you stuck together like that.
No, they were acting weird. Muxo definitely was going to babysit. Like, the boys might get killed by droids on the ship, but that's kind of their own fault. But the ladies were under a little bit of influence and maybe needed some watching after. They're like, it's like girls' night out when like your friends have a few more drinks than you do, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait here until the cab shows up.
And it was
Except
actually
Muxo's
really
the
hard.
cab.
It was really hard for Ilsa to tell Muxo what was going on because she doesn't ever tell anybody what's going on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I did
what were the
notice that. That was
consequences?
pretty cool.
Nothing bad.
Her poor plant.
Yeah. I can't wait to get Ilsa a lightsaber. I'm gonna try to make some opportunities for that to happen if it doesn't happen one way or another soon.
Yeah, she
It
would
went
like-
on the urgent and important list.
Awesome.
Well, I think she asked for one before too, didn't she?
I think
Well,
so.
I know, but now Anaka has like a real cool one, so you need one.
Yeah, she does. But hers is kind of haunted.
Well, look,
It's just a little haunted. It's fine.
You're expected to give up something for the style points. She just gave up her brain.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. On that note,
Is she a warlock now?
I mean, kinda.
She's not going to get like trying to get everybody to the dark side now, is she?
Can she use Eldritch Blast?
I mean, Force Thrust is kind of like that. Anyway, speaking of
Anaka's a
being-
warlock.
I'm totally here for that. V, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
I mean, obviously the big favorite was getting to play Anaka as the absolute moron who went headfirst into a Sith tomb. Although I quite enjoyed just the little moment of Muxo and Jai looking out the window and Jai being like, I'm gonna steal that. And Anaka trying her best to just like contain a little smile. Cause she expects that from Jai now. It's like breathing. She like clockwork. She knows that it's gonna happen. So that's got a little honorable mention. I also really appreciate the fact that Ilsa was just like, you know what? Anaka wants to go this way. I'm gonna support her choices. We'll all go as
That
a
was delightful.
family. Yeah. And I'd also like to just, say thank you guys for putting up with my silliness. Just because, we all knew it was going to happen. And I had a little bit of conflict in me because I didn't want to screw anything up for anybody else. But, and that's why I kind of said like, hey, is there a dice roll that I can do? So I don't have to take the blame if things go wrong. But given the fact that like games like Animus, where I have the opportunity to do things like shoot Rip in the back of the neck, and then I decided not to do that. I was like, you know what? Let's have some fun today. Let's just get possessed by a Sith ghost. I think that would be fun. And it was. It's quite enjoyable thus far. Nothing has happened, so I'm happy. I will enjoy this 10 seconds of bliss before something inevitably goes wrong. But I got a
Nothing will go wrong.
Yes, of course. We're going to stay positive. I got a haha funny head ghost out of it. So you know what? Maybe it'll be all right. But yeah, definitely just thank you to everybody for letting me have my little moment of fun there. It's very much appreciated, and I'm very excited to see where it goes from here. But other than that, where you can find me next, I will be here Saturday evening for more Animus, where I play Annie. And then next week as well, we will pick up on our missed episode of Exodus, I believe. Given everybody is good to go next week, because unfortunately we missed it yesterday. So looking forward to that. You can also find me on my art Twitter, which is @PepperoDraws, and that's Peppero like the candy. And like I said at the start, I've got a couple new pieces that are going up there that are just finished not too long ago. So those will be going up if you'd like to see them.
Awesome. And that just leaves me, my favorite part. It's very hard to pick a favorite part. Though the whole episode was really cool. I really enjoyed like how organized all of the trying to pick up the trail and figure out where this target is. That whole thing was really cool. The way everybody like handled things on Ord Mantell. I thought the group like in character worked really well together on this. And definitely enjoyed the plotting to split the party between the ship and the planet, and in the back of my head going like, oh no, somebody's gonna die. But then you didn't, and I was like, oh good. And everything around going to get that lightsaber was hilarious from all of you. It was great. I'm very much looking forward to next week. It's going to be a really good one. Hopefully nobody's going to die. I don't think they will, but it depends on how depends on how determined to kill this thing some people are.
Not at this time. Not at this time.
Did I mention that this last name is Saxon?
He's not wearing the armor. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to learn that.
Also, I'm just kidding. It's not actually.
It's a big galaxy. There's lots of Saxons out there.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Where you can find me next will be tomorrow morning or afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in, at 12 Mountain Time for Beyond the Wall, where I play Mare, who is a super antisocial goth superhero in a world where reality and dreams are not separate things. We all had to have our characters basically face their biggest fear last week, and there were literal tears. It was very emotional. It was fantastic. So it's gonna be really interesting to see kind of where everyone's at in character after that in this week. So I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. And then we've got In the Mouth of the Beast Below tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and Animus on Saturday evening. Also, I'll be producing Time Travelers back here at noon Mountain Time on Saturday as well. And that's the schedule for the rest of the week. Other things to talk about. There's the raid cry with our new emote there in chat. Feel free to copy that. And then also going to mention sponsors again. Fundamental RPG and Intrepid. Fundamental RPG is the game that Animus and Water run off of. Two shows that are on this season. Last season we had Hunters of Calamity 2 that ran off of it as well. And it's been fully released very recently in the last couple of weeks. You can get the PDF version at coffee.com/raven/shop, just like it says in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Just add /shop to the end of that. And you can get the print version on Amazon. I will have a link in chat probably tomorrow at some point. But in the meantime, just do an Amazon search for Fundamental RPG or Raven Evermore, and it should pop up, and you can pick up the copy there of the physical copy. Intrepid is adventuring gear for real life, so if you like athletic outdoor casual wear with a tabletop theme, it's some really cool stuff, and you can find it in the same place, coffee.com/raven/shop. And then finally, if you want to catch up with episodes of this show or any other shows that we currently have or have had on the channel, You should be able to find those very soon on the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network/videos. And if it's not up there yet, because they're still working on getting everything moved over, but if it's not quite done yet, then you can currently do so at YouTube. Just do a search for Black Feather Guild, and you should find most of that stuff there as well for now. And I think that is everything. So we're gonna go on a raid. Words are hard. We're gonna go raid. Let me just make sure that he's still alive. Yep, we're gonna go say hey to Kent Weebs. Fantastic person and variety streamer. Just an all-around delight to talk to. Definitely give him a follow if you're not doing so already. And be sure to say hello and throw in our raid cry. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.